I'm gonna go ahead and get started and kind of keep an eye on the waiting room and let people in as they pop in. Um, but thank you all for being here today. We're really excited about this. I have Terry Mangiarotti and Amy Enos with me today. They are the two creators of the NSYNC action plans. I've worked with some pretty brilliant people through my career, and these two right here are definitely on the top of the list of brilliant people. When I talk about people who have their ducks in a row, like their ducks are in a row, like they're good. They think of all the things and they have it, like they have a system that they do. And I was so excited to be able to partner with them and work with them and bring their brilliance to you guys. So Terry, why don't you go ahead and let everybody know a little bit about you?
Yeah, thanks, Trish. Hey, everyone. I see some familiar faces and names. So thanks for jumping on. I know we're in a crazy time right now. So I'm a studio owner. I own NSYNC Center of the Arts and right out in south of Boston in Massachusetts. So we are in the whirlwind, crazy time of getting back to classes in this unprecedented COVID world. And before the whole COVID thing happened, we were rolling out these lesson plans with Tricia and kind of bringing to the mass market what we've been doing in our studio for about almost 20 years now, with the lesson plans that we've been using in our preschool program that has seen thousands of kids go through the doors. And that's been working really, really great for us. It's evolved into what you'll see on the website. And Miss Amy here has been creating them with me for so many of those years. So we're super excited to bring it to you. But I think the reason that we wanted to pop on today and bring everybody in is because now, as owners, we are just mind-boggled with so many new challenges and other things to think about, that getting this creativity lined up to do these preschool programs is a tough call. It's a challenge for us to pull that side of our brain when we're thinking so logistically about business and just staying open right now. So we went back into our lesson plans that we had created for a non-COVID world and created modifications to use those same lesson plans in a socially distant way and virtually, because we're doing both of those things now at our studio and at most studios, and we need to be ready for all of it. If we need to go virtual, those modifications will be ready. So that's been great. We needed them for our studio as well. This is the plan that we use at our studio too. So we needed to get that ready for us as well. So we put it together so that it will also be ready for you. We set our entire season up in the summer. So we get all 8 months of lesson plans, or we have a 10-month season. That last month is really recital prep, but we get all of those lesson plans ready to go before we even start classes in September, so that once those classes start, we're just rolling through the lesson plans, but we never have to think about what we're doing next week, what we're doing next month. It's already done. So that was kind of what we wanted to present to the dance world, was the release of having to think about what you're teaching and more how you're teaching it, the way that you're presenting it, getting good people in there to teach what you already know works is a whole different thing than creating the lesson plan as you go. So we're super excited to be able to present that to you guys and help you. I see some of you having these challenges with class sizes, props, lack of props, lack of space. So I think we'll be able to address some of those things as well.
Awesome. Well, isn't she awesome? And Amy, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Amy Enos. I am the preschool director here at NSYNC in Quincy, Mass. I've been teaching here this is my 17th season with NSYNC, and I am currently the creator of the lesson plans for our studio and now the author of the action plans. I love what I do. I have a background in early childhood education, which I think is a huge help for being able to create these so that they are age appropriate and developmentally appropriate. But I think the biggest thing with these too is that I've been using them for so long, so we know exactly how they work, and I'm proof that they do work. They do work, and they're super duper helpful for the preschool program and going into kindergarten age as well. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes, and Amy is also a certified RhythmWorks instructor. So, these are preschool lesson plans, 3 to 5 year old, but they work perfectly for all of our RhythmWorks certified instructors out there. These plans are awesome for your basic level students. So I would definitely look at that. Amy really goes into some really good information about, the specific things that you need to do along the way. So yeah, they're not just for kids who have special needs, and they're not just for kids who don't have special needs, because in my opinion, we all have special needs in some kind of way. So they work across the board for all of your students. Terry, I want to ask you real quick. So I know you've been doing this cohesive planning, and by cohesive planning, you guys, what she does is, it's not just for her preschool program. Like across the board, she has themed plans for her studio, the whole studio. How has that changed your business?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we decided to take what we've always done, theme months in our preschool program: Outer Space Month, Transportation Month, Welcome Month, all of those things. But a few years ago, we decided to drag that theme across the entire studio and kind of involve everyone in the idea of different theme weeks. So that when we're, having Winter Wonderland Month and it's Peppermint Twist Week, we're giving out candy canes in class or at the end of class, and we're all doing something about twisting. Even if it's preschool, they're doing all their preschool twist songs, but the entire studio is working on twisting and tap and jazz and contemporary and ballet. So they all can kind of come together. In our big studio picture, those preschool themes follow throughout the whole studio. And that has been really helpful with just getting the community involved and getting the families to feel like they're part of something bigger and they haven't been forgotten. Some of the once a week kids can feel sometimes like they've been forgotten. There's big competition level programs. There's these exciting preschool themes and events, but all these kids in the middle needed some energy, I guess. So we've been dragging them across the entire studio for a few years now, and it's been awesome. So our lesson plans for the preschool program are themed, where every week has a theme, and we know exactly what we're doing every week. It's not just a random fun day dropped into a year, but it's cohesive in that way that every week adds on to the previous week, and it makes sense as it moves forward. So it's been great. And part of what we do that's also in the lesson plans is at-home communication. So that with parents, especially now, if your waiting room is not open, as ours is not or will not be when we start classes next week, the sitting in the waiting room, looking through the window or watching on the monitors, none of that's going to be able to happen in our studio. So it's going to be even more important for us to be able to communicate home what is happening in class, because the kids aren't going to tell their parents. They usually don't, right? How is class? Good. You get one word from your kids typically when they get in the car. But now in these plans, and what we've always done is sent home a monthly newsletter that really lays out exactly what we've been doing in class. This month we did this. It lays out the skills, sometimes the songs, the themes, sometimes even a link to the song. This is what's coming up. So parents and kids know what's coming next week. And I think that's been a game changer for us with retention. So often the kids leave class and it was good. They say the word good to their parents. But now when we prep them with what's coming next week, don't forget, next week is Teddy Bear Week. Bring your teddy bear. We're going to do teddy bear picnic. These little things are said when the kids are getting dismissed. They really don't want to miss class next week. So now they're leaving with the idea that they know what's coming and they want to make sure they're there for that. And we do that all year long. When we started doing that, our retention numbers skyrocketed. And I really think that seems so simple, but if they're coming just for dance class, they think it's just going to be the same old dance class, then it's a little bit easier to maybe lose momentum or, sit that one out if they're a little tired. But if they know it's Teddy Bear Month or Stop and Go Month, Stop and Go Week or Peppermint Twist Week, they really don't want to miss that. So having the plan where everybody knows what's coming, even my front desk person who has nothing to do with teaching the classes can say, next week is Teddy Bear Week, don't forget. And she's not even the teacher teaching the class. So it's really been great to be able to kind of cohesively put together our team at the studio as well. So we all know what's coming up. And it's the same week in all of our classes, so we can all help each other out. So yeah, so that's been great. I think that's awesome. And then in our plans too, we have the parent newsletter that we have, but we also have social media posts that that add to the communication and the community of what's happening. So you can just pop that on your Facebook page or your Instagram account and let the entire community know this month was Transportation Month, and this is what happened and this is what's coming. So that's a great piece too.
Hey guys, can everybody check their microphone to make sure everybody's muted? Because we are getting a little bit of feedback in the background. You know, Terry, one thing that you were talking about with, you know, the kids knowing like what's coming up next, that's awesome for students who have anxiety about what's coming up next. I know a lot of the students I teach, if they don't know what's coming up, then it can cause some behavioral challenges. But just the simple fact of knowing, okay, next week is this, or next month is this, I need to bring these things, then it just helps to ease their mind.
Yeah.
Terry, before I jump to Amy and before we get into the plans, you guys have a really awesome hybrid setup. Can you just talk to that a little bit so that maybe for our teachers who are trying to figure out how do you do a hybrid setup, what do I need equipment wise, how do I decide what kids in class and what kids in the studio?
Yeah, sure. Help. Well, you know, every state is in a different state and of what they can do as far as bringing kids into the studio or not. In Massachusetts, we're doing okay, but we have a hybrid system set up so that anybody can go and log into any of our classes. So we just actually finalized all of those. Amy actually finalized all these Zoom links today, and there's like over 100 classes at the studio. So at any time, those kids that are registered in their fall classes can come into the studio and take their classes safely, masked, social distance, but they also have the choice of Zooming into that class from home. And in each studio, we set up at the beginning of the summer, we got big screen TVs for every studio so that it was easier for my teachers to visually see the kids that were Zooming in, because watching on your little laptop is tough. So we bought big screen TVs, like 55-inch or 65-inch, depending on the studio. And we are using iPads in each room right now, although we just ordered some new Chromebooks for every studio for the fall to make things a little bit easier. But so there's an iPad in each room and a big screen TV in each room. And we log into every class, and that studio stays open for the day. And we just like your regular studio, and we let kids in from the waiting room who are registered into that class, and then they leave when they're done, and we let in the next class virtually and in person. So they have that option of being in or staying home. And we do have a lot of families who will be Zooming from home until they feel safe enough to come in. And even if we're all in these classes, you know, specific classes, say 100% of their kids are in the studio, it's important that that link is available, because they may be home if somebody doesn't feel well, or if they're in a quarantine situation, or if they've traveled. So I think it's important to have it as an option. It has made our families feel a lot better knowing what happens if, and then we can say, oh, you just log into the link on the website and you're just virtually right into the class. So that's an important option, I think, to have for people right now, if that's what you want to do, right? Because it's an entirely different beast. And if you're just a person who doesn't want to offer that and you don't need to, then don't. But if you want to, it's a really great selling point, because I do think that people will need it. And some of the things that Amy will talk about will help us stay engaged with those kids, because I know that this age we're talking about, it's tough to keep them engaged in a virtual call, a virtual class, but we think we've got it pretty nailed down for everybody and can help you guys get through that until we can just all be back in the studio safely again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Hey, Amy. Amy, I have so many questions for you, but I want to do some sharing. So here comes some sneak peeks, you guys. So I wanted, let me see, let me jump to, where is it? There we go, right here. I'm going to jump to the Mini Moves content page. So you guys should be able to see this. And this is, once you purchase the plans, you'll get access to this page. You would download your plans here. So here's the cool thing about the whole InSync action plan set, is that it's a once and done. So you buy the plans, and it's not like a monthly or an annual fee that you have to pay or anything like that. The plans are yours. You can print them out. You can share them with your teachers. You can do what you need to do with them, aside from reselling them, and just make it super easy. If you have a sub that's coming in, you pull out that week's content and give it to the sub. And if you want to give her access to either hear or download the videos, you can, so that she can see what she needs to do, or he needs to do for class. If you purchase the social distancing and the virtual learner modifications, those are here, so you can access this. And we'll go over those a little bit in a little while. But what they do is they take the entire 48 weeks of plans, and they kind of readjust things for that setting. So, you know, if you're working with some kids in the studio that are socially distant and you have virtual people, you can see how they both match up and how you need to cue those different things. But you're going to get access to video tutorials for all of the choreography that we do. So we have warm-ups and the goodbye choreography, which is the same the whole time. And then each month has its own routine and its own creative movement videos that you can watch. How cute is that? This is Amy and her daughter, by the way. We also have videos of all of the skills that you're going to be teaching, the ballet and tap skills, just in case you get somebody in there who may be really young and you just want them to see it. And you can see Claire's our little model here. That's Amy's daughter. And she shows you what it looks like for a kiddo to be doing it. And then, of course, these, if you've purchased the add-ons, so the add-ons would be the social media content, the communications assets. We have coloring pages and the social distancing / visual or virtual modifications. Those are all add-ons. So if you did purchase that, you would find those here. So this would be maybe an example of month 1 of the social media card in our newsletter. And there's space here that once you download these, you can overlay your information onto it. And these are our coloring pages. So the coloring pages, you guys, there's enough for every week. You have at least 1, sometimes 2 coloring pages that you can share. And what I love about it is that we have girls, we have boys, we have a very diverse coloring book. So they're super cute, and I'm really proud of these pages. So so that's kind of a sneak peek into what the content page looks like. Amy, I want to jump into sharing some of the actual plans here. So let me figure out how to do that. Hang on. Okay, right here. Can you guys see this here? Let's do this. So Amy, if you want to take us through what we're seeing, that will be great.
Sure. So what we are looking at right now is the first month, and the theme to this first month is Welcome Month. So right under that, it just kind of describes what's the whole point of this month, you know. So it's to set expectations of what the dance class is going to be, kind of getting to know each other and things like that. And then it brings you to the second page, and this is really cool because it shows you the monthly goals. So that's a nice thing that we add on to the monthly newsletters, so that the parents kind of understand that it's not just a dance class. You know, there's so many other things that are going into what their child is actually enrolling in, right? So, so for this particular one, you know, it would be working on taking turns and let's see, what else did we write? I'm wearing my glasses. Encouraging socialization, huge, right? Things like that. And then touches upon what the skills that the children are going to be working on for ballet and for tap, the stationary skills and the traveling skills. And then it shows you what you would need for the month. So what kind of materials do you need for the props and things like that. So that kind of sums up the basic of what the month is about. And then if we scroll down a little more, this is really cool because these are the links to where you can purchase these items. So you just click right on that link and it brings you to the page that you can purchase them right from. And then that's continuing on. And then this is a list of every single song that you will need for the whole month. And then if you click on the link, it shows you where you can find that song to purchase to create your playlist for the monthly playlist for the songs, which is awesome. Yep, and then so every month we learn a different dance routine. So what we do is the last week of the month, we ask the grown-ups of the children to come into the studio. We'll touch upon how we're going to make that a little switch for the social and the virtual modifications. But the idea is that the children learn a routine monthly, and the parents come in and they can watch the students perform their routine every month. So every month it's a different routine with different choreography. So that's all broken down right there on that page for you. Also, there's a video to show you exactly how that choreography is supposed to look. And then here we go. We get right into it. So this is week 1, and it just breaks down how the structure of the class goes. It's the warm up and then the stretch, what the ballet skill is, how you bring it across the floor. And next to that, it shows you what songs you'll use. There's always a creative movement activity in there. If you have the energy, would be week 1, you know, just to kind of get them used to what's going on in class. Then we work on our routine, and up above on the choreography page, it breaks down what you should be teaching for week 1. And then we change our tap shoes. There's a tap train. There's a rhythm activity every week, and then a parachute activity, and then the goodbye activity. So my most favorite part about this is the consistency of it. Children thrive on consistency. I thrive on consistency, and I'm a grown-up. But as a teacher, consistency is key, right? Because it's so good to know exactly what is happening next, all right? And that all of the months are consistent that way. The actual activities and things will be different, but the way that it's structured out is all consistent. So there's no question about how it works.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I wish I had this when I was teaching, because I was not this organized. Sad to say. So that's the plan. Now let's look at how you actually made some of the changes let's talk about social distancing first. I want to share, I'm going to jump to the social distancing page here. I think that's this one right here. Nope, that's not what I want. Hang on. There we go. Yep, can you guys see that here? Okay. Yeah, so tell us how you kind of made some of the modifications.
Absolutely. So this is for the social distance learning. This would be if you have students in your studio taking dance class. And basically, it's suggestions on how we have done it, and it's been successful. So that is why we're sharing with you, because we actually have done it and it worked well, and it's working well right now. So prepare your space. You know, a great way to do that is to tape off some boxes, squares, in your studio. And these squares would be 6 feet apart. And each student would be standing in that square. We put a number. When the student arrives to take dance class, they are assigned a number. That number is for them to stand on inside their dance space. And we actually also have, if you can see that picture kind of in the middle of the page down lower, there's baskets in each studio, and those baskets are numbered as well. And so the student would find the number that they are assigned, and all of their belongings go right in that basket, and then they find their number in the square. What a great thing that we have done. If going across the floor is just not an option for you, you know, waiting their turn, standing in line, and it's not enough space to social distance, we've done something called Across the Square, which is really cool. So what we've created is we kind of made, I don't know if you can really see it, but each of the lines on the square is a different color, but it's consistent with each square. So each square has, say, a blue line for their front line, a green line for their back line, orange line for the right, pink line for the left, okay? So that way you can say to the students, all right, everybody, now start on that pink line. Show me your first position feet. Now let's releve walk all the way up to the orange line, free. Now show me your pliés. Very good. Now let's releve walk back to your number. And that's how, you know, so it's across the floor, but we call it across the square. It's been working out really well for us. So that's how we do that. Let's see. And I did mention that if you are teaching, so that's social distance. If that brings in the point of being in a hybrid situation. I'll get more into the virtual in a minute, but if you also have kiddos on the virtual, you know, it's just about direction. So there's some options for having the virtual students have their own dance spot at home. There's some Velcro circles you can purchase. You can ask them to grab a paper plate, but direction. So they'll do exactly what the kids are doing in the studio, but you'll say, all right, let's walk up, forward, closer to me, freeze. Good job. Now let's go that way, because there's 3. They're not always going to know right and left, you know, but it's doable to have them follow along with the kids in the studio as well. So that's how we do across the floor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the virtual modifications.
Sure. So for the virtual, this is my favorite part. We actually, prop kits is a huge thing right now that we're doing. So what we have done is we went ahead and we created these prop kits for the students to purchase, along with, you know, whatever else they need for dance class, but a prop kit is huge. And inside the prop kit would be the main props that you would use for the whole year. So not necessarily like, you know, if it's teddy bear month, and typically we would do a cutout of a teddy bear, you know, for whatever. They would hold that going across the floor, things like that. This is more of items that you would use for every class, like instruments. We have some rhythm sticks that would go in there. We would have some jingle bells, handheld tambourines. Let's see what else, egg shakers, you know, things like that. And then the Velcro dot that I was talking about that the kiddos will stand on. These prop kits are great because they will have them at home, so they'll have everything they need at home to take dance class. But if they're also an in-studio student, they bring these prop kits to and from class with them so that they can use these props, and we don't have to worry about sharing props. We don't have to worry about sanitizing, things like that. So that would be great for virtual kiddos as well. They have everything they need at home.
Awesome. Love it.
Yep.
So
and then I will say this too, if there's some great, in this modifications, there are some great ideas for substituting props as well, using household items. So that's in there as well.
Love that. Yeah. And you guys, you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, but this is like, it's 69 pages long. It's not just like a, hey, do this, hey, do that. Here's some ideas. Like it goes week by week by week by week and tells you exactly what to use, what to say, what to do. It's done for you. Like it's pretty done for you. Real quick, I want to jump into Hippity Hop. So here's the beauty of this thing. So as you can see, well, you may not be able to see this. These are it's the Mini Moves Green Series and the Hippity Hop Green Series. They're both preschool. The cool thing about the plans, Amy, do you want to explain like the monthly, like how they line up, like theme-wise between the different genres of dance?
Sure thing, sure thing. So both of the sets of plans, month one for both Hippity Hop and the mini one is Welcome Month. So the way that they are written is that a lot of times the props used are the same, you know, throughout the studio, but the themes remain the same throughout the studio, throughout the month. So as far as like the monthly goals and objectives, pretty much similar. And so if a child is taking more than one class, if you have a kid taking Mini Moves and a kid taking Hippity Hop, they're going to be talking about the same, you know, the same things with Welcome Month, with Teddy Bear Month. So it's consistent throughout.
Absolutely, love it. Yeah. So this is Hippity Hop. Hippity Hop actually uses the Hip Hop in a Box cards as part of their skills. They also have additional things and activities that they do as well. But it's the same concept, 48 weeks. You have your objectives, your skills, your materials list, your playlist. Each class is separated into different bits and pieces. I do want to be very clear that the Hippity Hop plans, it's not going to get into a lot of style because there's tons of style. And to be completely honest, at 3 to 5 year olds, it's really about understanding body, the way their body moves, body dynamic, working on coordination, getting tuned in with rhythm. All of those things we're doing as a kind of a pre-hip hop skills that would get us into our higher level hip hops where we're bringing in additional styles. So this is more of a foundational skill acquisition and just understanding how to use their body, like preschool students should be doing, right? So so this is amazing, and I love that it lines up with Mini Moves as well. We are working on the social distancing and virtual modifications for Hippity Hop. That should be ready by the end of the week. So we are doing pre-sales for that now. So you can actually purchase the pre-sales on the pages now. And yeah, so Amy, I have a question for you. Totally, like, just, this is like my curiosity because I'm like a science nerd. How do you even do all this? Like, what's your process of like going, okay, here's like 48 weeks of skills and all the things that go into it? Like, what's your mental process of like figuring this out?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I will start with experience, you know, because I have been teaching this age for such a long time. So that right there is, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have any idea what I was doing. But experience is really where it came from. But as far as the process goes, I guess, you know, I choose the themes, and then I choose all of the skills. And the way that I do the skills, I want to make sure it's progressive, you know, so I'm not going, a lot of thought gets put into it, especially with child development, okay? So I want to make sure that we are starting with our first position feet like this before we even know how to turn it out, you know, things like that. So once I get that going, then all of the skills just kind of progress that way. As far as, you know, matching up the themes with the songs, and that's a fun process. I have tons of different, you know, places that I go to look for songs. Sometimes I'll just Google, you know, teddy bear songs, and it's helpful to have you and Mr. Chris, and you know, it's just a matter of reaching out and researching, tons and tons of research. But I guess once we have the structure of the class there, then we pop everything in and it just kind of falls into place. But I think the most important part is just knowing child development and knowing where they can get to at that age and how to get there. So that's really where it started from.
Well, coming from someone who has developed a curriculum, you have done a phenomenal job. It blows my mind, the details and the thought process that you put into it. So I just want to say thank you for your hard work for getting this out, because studio owners, dance teachers, I know how busy you guys are, and then you throw all this whole COVID stuff on top of everything that you have to like reinvent your whole business. And to have something like this, just to say, okay, here's another thing, just take this off my plate, we're going to do this year. It makes life a lot easier. So, whew. Hey guys, anybody have any questions? Let's. I'm going to jump over to the questions over here and see if we can maybe answer some. I think Terry's been asking. Let's see here. Ways to incentivize students when you can't give out stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, have any ideas for that?
I have an answer to that. So, what I created is really, really cool. These are, I'm going to actually show you. These are monthly sticker cards that I actually put
Hold them up, I
in.
can't see them.
Sorry, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry about that. So like this one, my sticker card, welcome month. Okay, it might be backwards, but and there's a sticker card for every month that's included in their process. Along with the sticker card are stickers. So I just went ahead and I purchased theme-based stickers. So there's transportation stickers, teddy bear stickers, smiley face stickers. So when we're doing our skill during the class, or however you want to reward your children, they'll have everything there they need to do that. So I figured that was a good way to do it. We used to do hand stamps, and we can't do that. So that's where my idea came from.
Perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it. Someone asked, what's the age that Mini Moves is geared towards? So Hippity Hop and Mini Moves are geared towards 3 to 5 year old or preschool age range. You could maybe go a little bit older than that, especially if they're beginner students. Terry, Amy, any input on that?
No, that's the range is 3 to 5. And kids are usually typically, they could be in that Mini Moves program for 2 years and then go up into kinder. For us in our studio, it's called Kinder Moves. It's another level up, but it's basically, we work off of the same lesson plan. The differences would be the speed in which we teach it. So perhaps the tap step is like double timed, or we work a little bit more, specifically on the technique of what we're doing rather than just the vocabulary. But now we're really looking like for plie, knees over toes, heels stay on the floor. We will modify for an older level without changing the lesson plan. The lesson plan really stays the same, but we're just looking for more specific things, if that makes sense. And even within your own preschool class, right? Your own Mini Moves class of 4-year-olds, the Monday class is going to be completely different than the Friday night class, right? Or Saturday morning kids are going to be different than Tuesday at 5 o'clock. So you have to, a good teacher will modify any lesson plan according to the kids that are in front of them. And it will be interesting this year with the kids coming in now. Our kids are masked. I find that when we're teaching our kids with masks on, they're actually quieter. And they're socially distant, so there's not all that like falling all over each other that you have to deal with. So I think they'll actually be maybe better listeners this year, believe it or not. It feels counterintuitive, but I do think that's what we're seeing. So we may be able to go a little deeper into the lesson plan than we have been. Not as much time being taken up to give out all the props or change the shoes in the same way. It'll be a different flow of class. So I think we'll be able to maybe even go a little bit deeper into the lesson plan, make it a tiny bit more complex on our end. But any good teacher will modify, right? Like or if what's in the plan seems like a little too difficult, then you'll slow it down, half time that, or make that step stretch over 2 weeks. But it's all there, so it's great. And how we run it is our whole studio will run on this green series, but then next year we won't run the green series. We'll run a different series. We'll run a different set of themes, like the red series, and then they'll all be different themes. So a kid who's repeating isn't repeating the same themes. They might be reviewing the same skill set, but they're doing it in a different way, with a different song, with a different prop, a different pattern. So they're reinforcing the skills that they've already learned in a new way, new songs, new games, new choreography, new theme. And then we repeat one more with 3 sets, a 3-year cycle, and then we start back again with the green series. So that's how we do that.
Awesome. Someone asked, what's the length of classes? And I'll just read Terry's comment here that they are perfect for 45 to 60 minutes. Hippity Hop is a bit shorter, 30 to 45 minutes. So in case you didn't read that. And is the music good for both genders? Yes. Got shaking heads of yes, absolutely. Even the coloring pages, again, both genders. We have boy tap and boy ballet as well. The coloring book for Hippity Hop is in production right now, and I'm guessing that's going to be ready in about a month or so. And that's actually, there's a girl, there's a boy, and then there's 2 animals, 2 hip hop animals, Funky Monkey and Silly Goose. Let's see, where are other questions? How much is it? Great question. Let's see here. Hang on, let me find the page I want to share with you guys. Let's jump here. So if you go to rhythmworksid.com, you have a couple of options here. So you can buy the plans, just the plans by themselves. Both of them are $4.99 for the entire plan series. Or you can add on the communications package. Like for many moves, you can add on communications package and the coloring book. The communications package is $149 and the coloring book is $49. But if you buy them together, then you get a deal, you get a discount here. So it ends up being, you save 10% when you buy them all 3 together. Same thing with Hippity Hop. I haven't added the social modification. Oh, the modifications. I need to add that to them. The modifications, I'm going to actually go on and do that soon. The modifications are $149 as well, and that includes both social distancing and the virtual. So if you give me like 30 minutes after we end this, I will go in and add those options to the bundle so that you can save 10% on that as well, since we just added those. So that is those prices. For Hippity Hop, same thing, $4.99 for the plan, $149 for the social media cards and newsletters. And then if you wanted to add on Hip Hop in a Box, if you don't have Hip Hop in a Box, then you can do so as well at a 10% discount for that. So those are the costs. And again, you can get that from rhythmworksid.com and just go into the shop here, and that'll take you to the options to check that out. But give me like 30 minutes to an hour to get the other the modifications added on to that. So we have it in a different space, but I want to make sure it's in the bundle for you guys. Let's see what else.
Great question.
I have thought about doing this, but I hesitate because I can see tears coming if a child forgets their prop kit. Has this happened, and did you find a cost-effective solution?
So, yep. So what I have done is I made a few extra kits, you know, props in each studio for them to borrow while they're in class if they forget their props. I've communicated this in my meeting with my preschool teachers, so they all know this. So if they are to be used, we have a bucket that will say props that need to be sanitized. So if any props need to be borrowed that class, the child will borrow it, use it, it'll go in that bucket, and then it'll be sanitized. And then we'll just, you know, the teachers and us, we'll just make sure that we keep in track of the student that keeps forgetting their prop kit, and make sure we just have a sensitive conversation with the parent to make sure they get their prop kits. But that's how we'll handle that.
Here's a question: Are your prop bags uniform, as in colors of items inside, or do the students pick the color of some objects on the inside? Just thinking of those kids that all wanted a certain color.
No, so typically when you order things like egg shakers and rhythm sticks, you're going to get a variety of colors. So I created the prop kits like I would a gift bag, you know, at a birthday party. I hate this, but if it's kind of, you get what you get and you don't get upset, you know. So no, they are not uniform. But I'm sure if you wanted to do something like that, you could probably find on Oriental Trading or Amazon, you could probably find something that's all red or all blue. So that's really up to you and how you want to handle that. Personally, my students, we're too busy to even worry about colors. And I don't engage in that. You know, if they're having a hard time, I know it seems mean, right, and not sensitive, but it's just how you have to do it. So, you know, I love the color blue. What else is, you know, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. But you know what? Your shaker matches the sky. That's so cool. Now let me see you shake it to the sky. And then they forget about it. That's how you deal with that.
And you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Somebody asked about the coloring book being representative of different ethnicities. Yes. So again, we have boys and girls. You know, they're pretty, I would say, neutral, but yeah, I think our little girl, let's see if I can share it real quick for you guys so you can see again. Let me find one here.
Yeah, and you know what, while you're finding that, Trish, I'll just chat about the coloring books a little bit. I just love these coloring book pages. There's a lot of coloring book pages that you can find out there, but these are specific to our plans and exactly what's being taught. And it's oh my gosh, we were painstakingly like breaking down exactly how you do a shuffle and what that would look like on a cartoon character, how you pick up your foot. It's not exactly in the right place. I don't like the way her ankle is flexed. Let's fix that. But we went through these coloring pages like so meticulously so that the skill being demonstrated is exactly how it's being taught and looks like a child doing that skill rather than just like a pretty ballet picture to color. It really goes with the plans. I just think they're super cool. So yeah, they were a lot of work. And I think we worked pretty hard on making them diverse as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any other questions, you guys?
Yeah, so you know, Trish, do you mind if I say one more thing before we go?
Yeah.
So like, as obviously a business owner in this crazy situation that we're in, we thought a lot about if this was the right time to do this. Maybe we should wait. But then, you know, that was when we thought we were going to be in quarantine for a couple of weeks. But now I feel like we really need this now as owners because we are spent how we're doing everything else, how we're going to get through everything else. Even as teachers, right? We're trying to think about how we're going to teach these kids, how we're going to teach them a mask, how we're going to teach only 7 instead of 17, all of the other things we're thinking about. So now I really feel like, man, this is a really good price to be able to get this off your plate. And the possibility of subbing in your teachers this season is strong because there's a lot of different scenarios where your traditional teacher that teaches on Saturdays may not be able to be there on Saturday, and who's subbing in, and having control over that as the owner feels really important to me. I know I have a few teachers on call and I have a floater teacher in the studio every day. so that if somebody is sick and can't be there, I can toss that teacher into a room, and there is no question about what she's going to teach when she gets in there, because all she has to do is pull up, page 3. In these plans, we have, part of the plans is this part at the end called At a Glance. So all of the month is on one paper, on one 8.5 by 11 sheet, and they're kind of like abbreviated reminders of what's to come. And we keep them on little 3-ring binders that stand up and literally flip. It's like a flip book, and it just sits on our studio. So when we have to have a sub or even a new teacher, a new hire, they don't have to prepare anything. They can just pop in. And I think right now for us, that's a huge relief for me to know that that's happening. So there's the At a Glance. So just to know that I don't have to worry about that if we need a sub or if I'm hiring a new teacher. I just need to worry about their personality, if they fit, their energy level, how much of a team player they are, and then I can just hand them the plans. I don't have to worry about what they're teaching and what they've taught in the past. This is what we do, just teach what we're doing. And it makes it it's such a relief. I just think this year of all years maybe is the right time to say, like, this is done, go worry about something else, because there's enough things to worry about this year, but this doesn't need to be one of them. So I just feel really kind of strong about that.
Yeah, awesome. And I think I may have mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm not sure. The videos on the content page can be downloaded. So if you need to download them and send them on a band app, or send them, however you send them to your people, to maybe your teacher needs to review something before class or whatever, you can easily just download all the videos and send them to whoever needs them, or put them up for kids to review during the week or whatever needs to happen. So
yeah, I just think that's awesome, because if we have to do what we did last year, all of that going into the studio and creating content, uploading them to none of that will have to happen for these preschool teachers, is such a load off. So I love that. We were in production when the shutdown happened, and I was like, if everybody had this, there would be none of this stressing out about the video content. It's all done. So yeah, it's really great to have, and it's great to have normally anyways. It's just it's an add-on to be able to send home for parents and kids.
Yep. One last question. Someone's asking, slightly off topic, but little dancers in masks for an hour, do you find you need to give more breaks during the class?
So far, we've had classes through the summer and things like that, and they were required to wear their mask. We did great. The kids did great. They didn't need any breaks. I do know one time there was a little one that said, I'm all done, I need to take this off. So we have a little area here at the studio that's away from everybody, and she was able to take a moment just to take a break, and then she came back and she finished out the class. So I think giving a break is okay, but I think it's kind of like the potty thing. One kiddo will want a break, you just have to know your students. But I think as long as you keep them engaged and busy and follow along to what is here for you, I don't even think it's going to be an issue. They're better than adults, I think. I think we're worse.
They adapt so easily. I think having a break space is great. We're actually using our birthday party room, because we're not doing birthday parties this year, as a spot to take a break. And they can go outside if they need to take a mask break as well. So I think that's important to give them that out. We've been communicating that a lot with parents when they're registering and asking, I don't know if she's gonna be able to wear a mask for the whole time. She hasn't done this yet, because they haven't started school yet to have that experience. And as soon as we say there's plenty of opportunity to take a break, we have a mask break space in the studio and one outside. So anytime she feels or he feels like they need it, they can ask, and they're happy to go there. And we have another teacher around to be able to kind of supervise that. That is a big relief. So thinking about that a little bit, even if you put a little bench in a spot and put up a little sign, that will relieve parents' stress and hesitation, just to know they have that option.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have a little deeper understanding of what it is and what you would get with the plans, and the benefit that it would be on your stress levels. But yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us. You can email me at, let's see, I'll put my email address here in the chat. I've also put the RhythmWorks ID email or website address on the chat bar. If you want to grab that, you can open it up there. But if you send me any emails with questions or anything like that, I will forward it to either Terry or Amy and get those answers back to you. But otherwise, you guys, thank you so much. And Terry, Amy, any last minute things before we go?
No, just a word of motivation and excitement. You guys, we can do this. We can kick off this new year with excitement for your kids and your staff. And if this helps a little bit, then we're happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And Terry and Amy, thank you so much for your hard work that you continue to do. You guys are such a pleasure to work with, and I look forward to our next series that's going to come out. So
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.